absolute value, what is it? First off, notice that whenever you hear absolute value, you're going to see these bracket bars. They look like a little jail cell or whatever you want to think of it. Brackets surrounding any number or variable. So in this case, we're just going to use x inside of our brackets to represent the absolute value of some number. We don't know that number, but we're going to give an example in a second. Okay, so if the question is asking you the absolute value of, say, 2, okay? Basically, all you need to think about is how far is 2 on a number line from 0. So if we have 0 here, all you need to do is mark 2. If 2 is here on your number line, how far is 2 from 0 on the number line? Well, if 2's here, and we count backwards, 1, 2, 2 is 2 spaces from 0. So the absolute value of 2 is 2. Now it gets a little bit trickier when you're asked for a negative absolute value. So let's say they're asking us the absolute value of a negative 3. I'll just use the same number line, why not? Let's do blue. So let's say negative 3 would be right here. Okay. How far now is negative 3 from 0 on this number line? So if we start at negative 3 and we count 2, 0, it's 1, 2, 3. Negative 3 is 3 spaces from 0. Okay, we'll do one more. How far would, say, negative 6 be from 0 on the number line? Or what is the absolute value of negative 6? Okay, we mark this on the number line. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6 would be somewhere down here. Okay, we would again count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces from 0 is negative 6. Okay, notice here, here, and here, all of our answers are all positives. Okay, so your absolute value is basically just taking the positive version of the number. That's all it is. Now, some examples you may see negatives outside of the absolute value brackets, okay? Now, it doesn't change anything that we did earlier. You're still trying to figure out how far the number inside, in this case, the number inside is x, we don't know. How far is this number from 0? Now, we always know it's going to be positive, a positive value, because you can't be a negative distance away, just like you can't be a negative age or a negative height. Since this will always be positive, right away you can put a positive number as your answer. The only difference here is this guy hanging outside here. He is going to change our answer because he is nowhere inside of our absolute value brackets. He's outside. So because he's outside, he gets thrown in to our answer. Okay? So our answer would be a negative number. Let's give another example with an actual number. So if we have the absolute value of 2, but there's a negative that's out here, okay? If we have this negative on the outside, we know right away that he's going to be thrown into our answer, okay? And the absolute value of a positive 2 inside, like we said earlier, is always positive. Okay, so this would make our answer a negative 2. If we have a negative inside and outside. Looks a little bit trickier, but just think about it. Okay, well, we know that anytime we have a negative inside of our brackets, it's going to be positive. Doesn't matter if it's negative, it's just asking you how many places is negative 2 from 0. We know negative 2 is a positive 2 places from 0, okay? But remember, you can't forget about this guy out here. He gets thrown into our answer every time, okay? Which in turn makes our final answer negative. So all you need to remember is if there's a negative inside of the absolute value brackets, your answer will turn always positive. If there's a negative outside, it's going to turn your answer back negative. If you want to try some of these examples, pause the video, do them on your own, and then continue playing for the answers. Okay, so our first one is the absolute value of a positive 3 is 3, and then we throw our negative in to make it a negative 3 as our answer. The second one, the absolute value of a negative 5, remember, it's always positive because the negative is inside here, okay? And there's no negative outside here, so we're going to leave our answer positive. Number 3, the absolute value of a negative 2 is going to always be positive. Remember, anything inside turns positive. And then the negative out here makes our answer negative again. Number 4, the absolute value of negative 3 is, again, always positive because the negative's inside. And then we look at him on the outside and can't forget to throw him in our answer. Negative 3 would be our answer. And then finally, the absolute value of, this should be a bracket, the absolute value of positive 10 stays positive, okay? And then we can't forget about our guy on the outside, negative. Makes our answer negative. Good work.